So I was driving home and I saw this guy at the corner of the street. He was selling hot dogs from like a little tent. And I thought that was pretty cool because it's like he didn't wait for somebody to give him a job. He didn't wait for anybody to tell him what to do. He just decided on his own, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to start selling hot dogs, whatever it takes. And I think that's just awesome. And it kind of like made me think for a second how it's funny that people are going online, like you're applying to these jobs, and it's like, what is a job, right? It's like you're waiting for a business, maybe like somebody like me to create a position, to set aside money to be like, hey, I'm going to give somebody a job. And if you're waiting for that, you're going to be waiting for a really long time because, like, for my business, there's just no room for me to actually hire an employee. There's room for me to subcontract stuff to other professionals. For instance, I subcontract sewer scope inspections all the time. So if you have a sewer scope company or if you have the sewer scope camera, you know how to do the inspection. I can subcontract that to you. But for me to hire an employee who's like a full-time sewer scope inspector, I'd have to be so busy that I won't even be talking to you guys right now. And again, the sewer scope inspectors that I use, they didn't wait around for a job. They saw a need and decided to fulfill it. And where the capitalism part kind of comes in is that they invest in the equipment. So, okay, you set aside capital, or maybe you get some credit, you get a loan, whatever it takes, you acquire a piece of equipment. Some of these sewer scope cameras can be very expensive, in the neighborhood of $10,000, even more. So, that's how people are kind of finding work. Like, that's how I'm finding work, is that I invested money in equipment, in skills. I invested time in learning how to do something and provide a service that people need. Because even though the real estate market is how it is, just on my drive home, I saw about 3 or 4 houses with for sale signs out front. But not only that, they said they were under contract. That's a potential home inspection, 4 of them. And so the work is out there. The work needs to be done. It's just that if I waited for another home inspector or for another company to say, hey, we're going to create a home inspector job, I'd still be waiting. And I've seen people fall into that trap where they get their licenses and they're too afraid to start their own business because they don't want to, for whatever reason, they don't want to take that step. So they're waiting for like another inspector to give them a job. But again, you'll be waiting for probably forever. So I guess what I'm trying to say, it's like, what is a job? Where does it come from? Like, how do you make money these days? Because I think applying to a job is it's not working right now for a lot of people. I was just speaking to this lady who's been on, she said she got laid off around this time last year, and she's still looking for a job. She actually decided to go back to school to learn more about business, because she has a side business, but she wants to make it full time. So, a lot more people are realizing that if I keep waiting around for a job, it's not going to just show up. I got to make my own job. There's people out there who need things. I mean, the place I was just at, this lady said she needs a handyman, she needs this fixed, she needs that fixed. So, one, find a need and fulfill it. Okay, because that's number one. People need things. Right now, the luxury stuff is kind of out the window. People don't, like, the wants is kind of gone. You can't really, there's a lot of things I want, but it's like, I don't need it. It's the stuff that I need. Like, our boiler in this place started leaking. Guess what? We need to have that fixed. I mean, there's really no way about it. Whether the money comes from insurance, it comes from a loan, it comes from a credit card, whatever, that money's going to show up to get that boiler fixed. So I guess number 2 is you got to follow the money. Why I like real estate is because, if a house costs $100,000, some people are only putting down 3%. So you only need $3,000 to buy a $100,000 house. Guess where the rest of the money comes from? It comes from the bank. The bank's always got money. Even though times are tough, lending is tough, they might not be doing the same kind of loans. They're still doing loans on houses, okay? So there's money out there. There's always money out there. You just got to be able to get yourself in between the money, get yourself into the action. Again, I love real estate because even contracting, the money is coming from somewhere else. Not a lot of people are just going, oh, here's 50 grand cash to do these renovations. They're taking out a renovation loan. They're putting it on credit. Some of it is coming from savings. Some of it's coming even from state programs. Okay, the state is literally giving people, homeowners, money. I was just at a house today where a woman's floors are all warped and messed up, and the town she's in has a home improvement program for people in that town. Guess what? Even though all this stuff is going on, the state still has money set aside to give this woman about 20 grand to redo her floors, okay? And she doesn't have to pay it back as long as she doesn't move out of the house within like 10 years or something. It's free money. And that's, again, even though all this stuff is going on, that's 20 grand that a contractor gets to play with to, install floors and do renovations on this woman's home, while everybody else is like struggling and, looking for work. So the work is there. I'm seeing it every day. You just got to figure out what kind of work you want to do and follow the money. Where is the money coming from? Don't wait for somebody to just create a position for you. You got to create a position for yourself. You could probably, these days it's old school. Get a lawnmower, start knocking on people's doors and trying to, do some yard work. It's literally, you got to go old school. You got to make connections. You got to know people. The amount of realtors I have to connect with and talk to and meet on a daily basis just to stay busy is more than I'm even talking to right now. I got to start talking to even more realtors. All right. So that's my little piece. Kind of what the little hot dog stand made me think about. Yeah. As you can tell, it's starting to pick up on my street. So, all right, guys. Hey, I'll see you on the next one.